In today's episode, we will be discussing about India's foreign policy after 1991, diplomacy in a globalized era. If you like our content, do like, share and subscribe with your friend. And without wasting much time, let's head on to the narrative. In 1991, India stood on the edge of an economic precipice. Foreign exchange reserves could barely cover 3 weeks of imports. But what followed changed not only India's economy, but its diplomacy forever. This is the story of how India's foreign policy transformed after liberalization, from Cold War non-alignment to strategic autonomy in a globalized world. A journey across regimes, alliances, and ambition. In the segment 1, we will be discussing the 1991 turning point. The economic reforms of 1991, led by Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, were not just a domestic pivot. They forced a foreign policy realignment as India opened its door to the global economy. Manmohan Singh, in his famous 1991 budget, said, "No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come." India moved from import substitution to export-led growth. This meant integrating into global trade regimes and repositioning itself diplomatically, especially with the Western powers, ASEAN and multilateral institutions. Rao's Look East policy was a defining shift, recognizing the rise of Southeast Asia and beginning diplomatic outreach to ASEAN, South Korea and Japan. Then came the BJP. In segment 2, we will be discussing BJP and its strategic assertiveness. The 1998 nuclear test under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee shocked the world and earned global condemnation, but they also marked India's arrival as a confident regional power. As Raja Mohan said, Pokhran II forced the world to engage with India as a nuclear power. Sanctions were imposed, yes, but engagement deepened. His landmark bus trip to Lahore in 1999 symbolized a bold outreach to Pakistan, cut short by the Kargil conflict the same year. Post-Kargil, India deepened ties with the US, Japan, Israel, and even China. Strategic dialogue with Washington gained momentum, laying the groundwork for the civil nuclear deal to come. On the segment 3, the UPA era, multi-alignment and economic diplomacy. We will be discussing about the UPA government and its multi-alignment and economic diplomacy. The United Progressive Alliance, led by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, brought continuity with nuance. Diplomacy under UPA focused on multi-alignment, engaging all major powers without exclusive alliances. The crowning achievement was the 2008 India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement, which ended India's nuclear isolation and marked a strategic partnership with Washington. As the quote from Ashley Tellis says, the deal was not just about reactors, it was about trust, legitimacy, and India's global aspirations. UPA also strengthened ties with Africa, Latin America, Central Asia through energy diplomacy and South-South cooperation. In the segment 4, the Modi era, nationalism, neighborhood first, and global branding, we will be discussing about the Modi's policy about nationalism, neighborhood, and global branding. Prime Minister Narendra Modi redefined India's diplomatic posture, blending economic nationalism with high-voltage public diplomacy. His foreign visits became headlines. Neighborhood First and Act East updated previous doctrines but with a strong personal branding component. As Modi said, India is not just emerging, India is leading. Key achievements include joining the Wassenaar Arrangement and MTCR, reviving the Quad, strengthening defense ties with US, France and Israel, vocal presence in the Indo-Pacific discourse. In 2023, India became the world's fifth largest economy and hosted the G20 summit under the theme, One Earth, One Family and One Future. Yet critics argue the Modi era has seen worsening ties with Pakistan and China, a tilt away from the traditional non-alignment toward Western security blocs. In the segment 5, we will be discussing about the future of Indian diplomacy. Today, India balances multiple identities as a developing country, regional power, rising tech hub, and climate negotiator. Its diplomacy reflects that balancing act, assertive at the UN, practical at the WTO, and strategic in the Indo-Pacific. As the quote from Dr. S. Jaishankar mentions, India's foreign policy is not reactive, it's purposeful, proactive, and principled. Whether India can convert strategic diplomacy into sustained global influence will depend on how it manages its internal challenges. More so ever, the challenges with the neighborhood. From crisis to confidence, from non-alignment to multi-alignment, India's foreign policy has come a long way since 1991. As new fault lines emerge globally, New Delhi walks a fine line, one step at a time, on the world stage. For more global affair analysis, subscribe to our channel. Drop your thoughts below. Which phase of the Indian diplomacy do you think was most transformative? Thank you.